us?
That's okay.
Okay. Hey, it's Liz and I, and we just hopped on to the Bring Along a Friend bonus call, and we actually ended up kind of getting into a lot of details on this topic with the Show Me the Money call, because these two things are very, very, very highly related. So Liz and I are just going to chat back and forth with things that we do, and it's something she's actually really good at, is helping all of her new stylists bring along a friend, because we know that statistically people who bring along a buddy in their first 60 days are more likely to be successful with their business, to stay with their business. And also they make about 70% more than those who don't bring along a friend in Jumpstart. So whatever the reason for that is, whether it just means you have more skin in the game, or you just are, it's more fun to do with a friend, or you have someone kind of in the trenches with you figuring it out as you go. Like, they don't really know exactly why people do so much better if they bring along a buddy right away, but that's why they incent you with the big $800 shopping spree. And one thing I talked about on the Show Me the Money call was one of our new home office hires, Jacinda, who I met her. She was only like 2 days in, and she was at director's retreat, and she shared that when I told her about the $800 shopping spree, she's like, that is absolutely ridiculous that every single person doesn't get that. She's like, that is such a low bar, like, to bring along one person. And so Liz and a bunch of us on the last call were just chatting about the idea of just making it a norm, making it so that every single person, the baseline, what you do when you join is to launch and bring along a friend who launches in the same month as you. And boom, that's $800 shopping spree right there. So Liz, what's your perspective on that?
I mean, it's something that I think people don't really realize until you say it like that. Like, you're getting $800 in product credit when you bring someone on, because in the reports you see all the numbers and there's all these bonuses and da-da-da. And it's funny, I was talking to a new girl in Jumpstart who just hit her quick start, and I said, oh my, you must be so excited about the X, Y, and Z you just got. She was like, I had no idea I got any of that. So a lot of times your new stylist has no idea what they can get out of this. It's kind of your job to show them, like, raise the high bar and be like, okay, you're going to get the most out of this that you can, which is hitting your quick start and bringing along a friend so you can get $800 in product. And a lot of stylists you'll talk to who didn't do that kick themselves for not doing that $800 at the beginning, for whatever reason. They didn't know it existed or whatever. So that's something that I want no one to miss. I think, like Jacinda said, like, why wouldn't you want $800 in Stella&Dot? That was a huge motivator for me when I started. I didn't know. I told Kelly that I wasn't going to be very good at this, and I was like, no, like, I might have one trunk show, sorry. And then I saw that you could get $800, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? And then let's do it. Let's make it happen. And it's so funny, at the beginning, I don't know. I didn't know what sponsoring. I didn't know that word. I didn't know that I was going to be coaching someone. I was just like, okay, you are cute and adorable. You had a really good trunk show. You should be a stylist with me. Like, you're going to get as much money. I would show people my reports. I'd be like, you're going to get $300 and you do a trunk show, like, in cash. So I was very excited. And I think that's something that we forget. Sorry, this is Bella, and she's going wild right now because it's really cold. So we're trying to stay warm. So that's something that I think we forget about, is just how much fun it is to be a new stylist. Because for me, it's been so long that I'm like, okay, I need to, like, do my reach outs and then my follow-ups. And, like, I have this long to-do list of things, and, like, we need to reinfuse the fun back in. And when you have a new stylist on your team, or you're helping someone launch, you get that joy and excitement back, because they're so excited about it. And they're like, you guys, I got a sale, and I made $100 this month, and you're like, yay. So I'm talking in circles. Kelly, what was your question?
No, yeah, that was good. It's true. And I just wrote down the word fun, because I do think that's super important when we're coaching new stylists. It has got to feel fun and easy. Bringing along a buddy has got to be like, I'm going to coach you guys together. It's so much more fun when you have a buddy to do it with, and you're going to get this big windfall. You really have to talk about it like it's no big deal. And all of you who've already sponsored this month, I want you to ask yourself, have you talked about this bonus? Did they just hear it on that first new stylist training call that you listened to on a Monday night, or have you been actively talking about it? Because it has to be something that you do over and over and over. Like every week when you talk to them in Jumpstart, because you want to be talking to them, your new stylist, at least once a week for the first 60 days, are you bringing it up? Is it something like you're almost saying until you're blue in the face and reminding them of, okay, so who would be fun to do this with? Let's go through and make a list of 20 people that you would love to, that you think would be good at it for this reason or another, or that you think would be, might be your best friend from college, might be your sister or whatever else. It's something you have to keep on the forefront, because even though you brought it up once in the new sales training call, doesn't mean they're going to remember that. That first call to them is a kind of a big blur, and it's, they have a lot of information they're learning, they're booking their trunk show and all of that. So it's something you have to keep bringing up over and over again. And I personally like to help them find someone to launch within the same month. So, if they are launching on February 1st, then they've got the whole rest of February to bring along a friend, and they've already got their $1,000 knocked out. So it's really just one friend launching two versus splitting it up between the months. So while some people might think, oh, I'm going to wait till the second month to work with that, it's actually easier if they do it in the same month that they launched in, because their $1,000 of the $2,000 in sales is like already knocked out. So obviously associate stylist is, $2,000 in sales between two people. You do a show, I do a show, and boom, you've got that $800 shopping spree. So I think that's the most important thing, is you talk about it like a baseline, like this is a minimum of what everybody does. Liz talked about in one of our other calls, really kind of setting that high bar, but you don't want it to feel like a high bar. Like you want it to feel like it's the norm. You want it to feel like it's totally normal. Don't talk to them about promoting or climbing the leadership ranks or anything like that. That's going to sound scary. If they feel like, to launch my Sell and That business, here's what I do. I have a show and I bring along a buddy who has a show in the same month. If that's the norm, then it's not going to feel like a big deal. It's not going to be some big, huge hurdle that they're working towards. It's just normal. It's what everybody does.
Yeah, because people will rise to the occasion if they think that that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like you can just say, you're a stylist now. This is what we do. We have 4 trunk shows a month, and we sponsor 1 to 2 a month. And that's something that's just what we do. So that was like Michelle said at Directors. She's like, this is what we do now. This is, you can just make it the norm, make it automatic, just say it into existence. It doesn't mean that that's what you've done in the past, or you aren't good at doing that or whatever. Just, if you make it as automatic as you're going to launch in your first 2 weeks as a stylist, you're going to help a friend start in the same month. You guys are going to rock it together. I'm going to help you. Like, that's what we're going to do. And to start that, we're going to make a giant list of who do you know, and like start there and give them what the end goal is, but then help them break it down into small chunks. So it's not just like, you're going to bring along a friend this month and get an $800 shopping spree, and then radio silent, because they're like, how do I do that? So give them that high bar, but then be like, okay, we're going to start by doing X, and then do it with them. And I think that is the key, is to not keep on top of them. Like, you're not like their mom being like, did you do your list? But you want to make sure that they are feeling supported and excited, right? So it's supposed to be fun. So be like, hey, send me a picture of your list when it's done, and I'll send you mine, and we'll go through. I can't wait to see what girls or what different circles, because it always helps me brainstorm if I talk to someone else about who they know, and whatever. Make it relatable.
I love that. And I think also being there to help coach that new stylist to get her launched, you can do the exact same thing with her. So if you sign up, your buddy, and then she signs up her buddy, and then she signs up her buddy, all of you are getting an $800 shopping spree. And all of a sudden you have this long downline of leaders. And then with the bring along a friend bonus, with the builder bonuses, that's an extra $100 in cash a month for you. So if you make that the norm, that everyone brings along a friend, and then you help them do that simple business plan where they sponsor 1 a month, they all of a sudden are growing to, a leader, but really just that extra $1,200 bonus a year. So if they get $100 a month, per new stylist, that's a pretty significant income increase. So you're not going to necessarily coach that when you're helping them bring along that first friend, but that's how you help them maintain it. That's how you help them once they get there, be like, do you know, if you did this every month for this year, you're going to get a $100 bonus. And think about how many people, if obviously in this Maven group, sponsoring is our big priority. We really want to grow consistently and help as many get to associate as we can. This is kind of the key piece of the puzzle. So the one thing I hear, if you might be a star team, or you might be a a senior stylist team and you're on the Zoom and you're like, okay, I've got these hobbyists and they're not really doing anything and they're kind of checked out. One, sponsoring is your first question, but two is the more people that you have joined and you get them to associate, those are the people that typically do stick around. So it's a pretty, while it should be a simple, normal part of our training, it's also a really important part to building people who are going to stick with this and not just constantly having to replace the people who have checked out. So I'd say
the bug too.
What's that?
They catch the bug. It's like, oh, this felt good. Like I did something, I was recognized, I got a bonus, I am having fun, I'm doing this with my friend. There's so many positive recognitions that come with that you don't realize you needed until you got them. At least that's what happened to me. And it makes you want to do more. You're like, okay, well, I checked this box. What's next? The senior stylist? Cool. What's that? How do I do that? So you're showing them that it's really easy to build and to keep going. Whereas, like you said, you're like, okay, you hit jumpstart, yay, on to the next new stylist. Like, it gives them something to goal set towards, even if leadership isn't in their goals right now. Like, that's okay. It should be just something that is like giving them something to work for. Because there's a couple of new stylists I had last year that they all hit their quick start, and it was so much fun, and we were all excited, and we were in a little group together. And then I said, okay, what's your next goal? Like, what do you want to accomplish? They were like, oh, I have no idea. Like, I hit my quick start. That was it, right? And I was like, dang it. Like, I should have went in there totally different, but that was a learning opportunity. But it shows you, like, we put out this big goal for them to hit quick start. And then we're like, okay, that's it. But that's not it. There's so many more things. So you're just showing them the other things that they can do.
Totally. And that made me think of what Julie Krause said at Director's Retreat, which was she didn't really focus on building to star with her team. She focused on little baby step achievements. So like, bring along a friend, get the bonus, get them to associate. After that, okay, that checked off the box. Next is senior stylist. Bring along one more. Okay, check. Now bring along one more. Okay, now it's all about volumes. Let's see if we can get everyone to add one more show. So she made it seem super easy and doable, but then she kudoed them when they did it. So it was like you have these little bite-sized accomplishments, but then you feel really good about it. And like Liz said, you don't even know you need it, but everybody likes to be celebrated. Everybody likes to be recognized. So when you do something that didn't even feel that hard, but then you get a lot of recognition about it, that makes you want to do it more. So remember that with your team as you're bringing along a friend, how important it is. You want to make it seem super fun. Here's what we all do, but then lots of kudos. When they do the things that you know are going to make them successful, make a big deal about it because that's going to reinforce that behavior.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, any other major thing that you think we've forgotten, Liz?
I don't know. So it's so funny. We were talking earlier about looking at your line 1 and line 2, and I was laughing because I was like, that's all I have is line 1 and 2. I know some of you and Maven might only have line 1, or maybe you have a line 2 and 3, but you don't know really who they are, or how that works. But I think I've been okay at coaching my line 1 to bring along a friend. But then I leave that friend in the dust. So I want to make sure that the friend can also get the bonuses and the excitement, right? So you're not just passing the baton on. You're not just like, okay, you're going to bring along a friend and then we're going to make sure you get your bonus and your friend just helped you get there. So I want to work on getting that line 2 and connecting with them without stepping on toes, because I don't want to take over the leadership role for my line 1 stylist, but want to make sure that they have the same opportunities and excitement that their friend did to bring them there.
Yeah, I think it's so smart to treat your entire personal generation like they're your own. So if you don't have someone that's under another star on your team, treat all of those people on your team the exact same, because there's a good chance that line 2 will eventually be your line 1 if you've got a hobbyist in between you who may flex out one day. So I think if you look at your personal generation as your first line, that's actually a really smart investment of your time. And you're only building the strength of that line 2 person. And I agree with you, Liz. It's so easy to leave that second person in the dust. And I think that you're going to like kind of coach with them, but they're going to learn. It's like a train the trainer moment. So every time you reach out to that new person and make a big deal about something they're doing, you have their sponsor on the text with you, or you're tagging her in the Facebook post, or you're reaching out to her and saying, oh my gosh, I saw so-and-so did this. You should do a quick kudo for her. And that's how they learn. That's how you don't just naturally know what to do as a leader. So your team is wanting you. I always reach out when people are in my personal generation and they sponsor for the first time, even if they've sponsored before. I reached out to 2 today who I saw sponsored. And I said, oh my gosh, I'd love to help you do the new stylist training. Can we find a time for the 3 of us to pop on together? Because I know if I can help that person launch strong along with their sponsor, that's going to solidify then that sponsor's business.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So I think the big takeaway message is, and we have touched on this on several other calls, but I think the big takeaway is you have to, every new stylist, and really look at the people you've sponsored this month. Are you encouraging them to come up with a big long list of people to invite to the How to Become a Stylist group? Are you helping them with some really easy, simple words to say, like, you know, hey,
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
Do this with me.
Yeah, I did it on a whim. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it looks really fun and we should totally do this together. Like, it doesn't, that's what most people are hesitant to reach out, because they're like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. They're not reaching out with a chart of the comp plan. They are reaching out and sharing why they're so excited, and that'd be fun to do together. People actually are more likely to say yes right at the beginning when people feel like you're just as clueless as they are, and so like, oh my gosh, let's just do it together and see what happens. Like, worst case scenario, we have a bunch of cute stuff. But I do think that it's our job, the way we can, I say we need to go for like 100% associate stylists, like of all the people we sign on over the next 6 months. And that's our major goal, is that it is no $800 shopping spree left behind. I think that needs to be kind of our mantra. Okay, well, I'm going to pop off because we've been going back to back for like 3 hours. And thank you, Liz, for hopping in and giving your awesome advice. She definitely does a really good job helping her buddies all bring along a friend. And if you have a second to watch the How to Grow Your Paycheck or Show Me the Money Zoom, we go into actually some really good detail about this and why doing this simple step is probably the smartest thing you can do for the size of your team and the strength of your team, but also for your paycheck with those builder bonuses. So everyone have a good day. Bye, guys.
Bye.